Listen to that. Crispy exterior shattering to reveal tender, creamy potato inside. That's the sound of a perfect latke. If you've never had a properly made latke, crispy, golden, piping hot from the oil, you're missing out on one of the world's most satisfying foods. But latkes are more than just delicious fried potatoes. Their history, their tradition, they're a link to Jewish heritage going back millennia. They commemorate a miracle. They connect families across generations. They've evolved over centuries while maintaining their essential soul. And today, we're mastering them. The history, the symbolism, the technique. By the end of this video, you'll know not just how to make latkes, but why they matter. Because the best food always has a story. And latkes? They've got one hell of a story. Let's get crispy. First, the basics. What exactly is a latke? At its simplest, a latke is a pancake made from grated potatoes mixed with onion, egg, and a bit of flour or matzo meal, then fried in oil until golden and crispy. The Yiddish word latke comes from the Russian or Ukrainian oladka, meaning small fried pancake. But similar dishes exist across Eastern Europe under different names. Germans call them Kartoffelpuffer. Poles say plaki ziemniaczane. Swiss make rosti. Belarusians have draniki. The concept is universal: grated potatoes, fried crispy. What makes Jewish latkes distinct? They're always fried in oil, never butter, keeping them parve, neither meat nor dairy, so they can be served with any meal according to kosher laws. And there's an art to the perfect latke: crispy and lacy on the edges, golden brown all over, tender inside but never soggy, about a 1/4 inch thick, thin enough to get crispy, thick enough to stay together. Get it wrong, and you've got greasy potato mush or burnt frisbees. Get it right, and you've got magic. Here's something that surprises people. Latkes are ancient, but potato latkes are relatively modern. The tradition of eating fried foods during Hanukkah goes back over 2,000 years. But potatoes didn't arrive in Europe until the 1500s. So what were the original latkes? Cheese pancakes, ricotta mixed with flour and eggs, fried in olive oil. These cheese latkes connected to the story of Judith, who fed salty cheese to an enemy general, making him thirsty. When he drank wine and fell asleep, well, let's just say it didn't end well for him. When potatoes arrived from South America in the 16th century, they were initially viewed with suspicion. Poisonous, some said. Food for animals, not people. But in the poor Jewish communities of Eastern Europe, the shtetls of Poland, Russia, Ukraine, Lithuania, potatoes became a lifesaver. Cheap, filling, easy to grow. Sometime in the 1800s, someone had the brilliant idea: we can fry these grated potatoes just like we've been frying cheese. The potato latke was born. It spread rapidly through Ashkenazi Jewish communities. Potatoes were plentiful and cheap. They could be stored through winter. And fried in oil, they connected to Hanukkah tradition perfectly. By the early 20th century, potato latkes had essentially replaced cheese latkes as the standard Hanukkah food. A tradition that felt ancient was actually only a few generations old. When Eastern European Jews immigrated to America in huge waves from the 1880s through 1920s, they brought latkes with them. The tradition took root in the New World. So why latkes for Hanukkah specifically? Let's talk about the miracle of oil. In 165 BCE, Jewish rebels called the Maccabees reclaimed the temple in Jerusalem from Greek-Syrian occupation. They wanted to rededicate it by lighting the eternal flame, the menorah. But there was only enough pure olive oil for one day. It would take 8 days to prepare more ritually pure oil. They lit it anyway. And miraculously, that one day's worth of oil burned for 8 days. Long enough. That's why Hanukkah lasts 8 days. Why we light candles for 8 nights, adding one each evening. And it's why we eat foods fried in oil during Hanukkah. The oil is the point. Every bite of a crispy latke is an edible reminder of that miracle. It's not about health food. It's about commemoration. The oil isn't incidental, it's essential. But latkes are more than religious symbolism. They're cultural glue. Making latkes is labor-intensive. Grating potatoes, squeezing out water, standing over a hot stove frying batch after batch. It's often a communal activity. Grandmothers teaching grandchildren. Multiple generations in the kitchen together. The recipe isn't written down, it's demonstrated, felt, absorbed. For Jews in the diaspora, scattered around the world, latkes connect them. A Jew in New York, Tel Aviv, Buenos Aires, London, all eating essentially the same food, celebrating the same story. And increasingly, latkes transcend religion. Interfaith families adopt them. Non-Jewish neighbors get invited to latke parties. They're becoming part of the broader American holiday food landscape. But they remain deeply Jewish in significance and origin. All right, let's make some latkes. I'm giving you the traditional Ashkenazi recipe, the one that's been refined over generations. Start with 2 pounds of russet potatoes. Not Yukon Gold, not red potatoes, russets. Their high starch content helps bind everything together and creates the right texture. Peel them. Some modern cooks leave skins on, but traditional latkes are peeled. Grate them on the large holes of a box grater. Yes, you can use a food processor, but many swear the texture is better hand-grated. The shreds should be long, not tiny. Grate 1 large onion into the same bowl. The onion adds flavor, but also moisture and enzymes that help prevent browning. Here's the most critical step. Squeeze out the liquid. Wrap the potato-onion mixture in a clean kitchen towel and twist it hard over a bowl. You should extract a surprising amount of liquid. Let that liquid sit for a minute. The white potato starch will settle at the bottom. Pour off the clear liquid, but keep that white starch paste. Add it back to the potatoes. It helps bind everything. Add 2 eggs to the squeezed potatoes. Add a 1/4 cup of flour or matzo meal. Matzo meal is more traditional and makes them kosher for Passover if that matters to you. Season generously with salt, at least a teaspoon, maybe more, and black pepper. Mix it all together. The consistency should be thick but spreadable. If you scoop some up, it should mostly hold together. Heat about a 1/4 inch of oil in a heavy skillet. Cast iron is ideal, over medium-high heat. The oil should be hot enough that a shred of potato sizzles immediately, about 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Spoon about a 1/4 cup of mixture into the oil for each latke. Flatten them slightly with the back of the spoon, about a 1/4 inch thick. Don't crowd the pan. Fry for 3 to 4 minutes per side until deep golden brown and crispy. Don't flip them too early. Let them develop that crust. Drain on paper towels. Salt them immediately while they're hot. And that's it. Crispy, golden perfection. Let's talk science. Why do some latkes come out crispy while others are soggy oil sponges? Problem 1. Moisture. Potatoes are about 80% water. If you don't remove enough, they'll steam instead of fry, and you'll get soggy latkes. This is why squeezing is crucial. You have to be aggressive. Wring that towel like your latkes depend on it, because they do. Problem 2. Starch structure. When potato starch hits hot oil, it gelatinizes and creates that crispy shell. But you need enough starch in contact with the oil. That's why russets work best, high starch content. And why you should keep that starch paste that settles from the squeezed liquid. Problem 3. Oil temperature. Too low, and latkes absorb oil and get greasy. Too high, and they burn outside while staying raw inside. The sweet spot is 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. The latke should sizzle vigorously when it hits the oil. Don't crowd the pan. Too many latkes drop the oil temperature and everything gets greasy. Problem 4. Flipping too early. That crust needs time to form. If you flip too soon, the latke falls apart. Wait until the edges are golden and the bottom has set, about 3 to 4 minutes. Problem 5. Thickness. Too thick, and the outside burns before the inside cooks. Too thin, and you can't get that tender interior. About a 1/4 inch is perfect. Pro tip: change or filter your oil periodically. As you fry, little burned potato bits accumulate. They make subsequent latkes bitter and dark. Master these variables, and you get the holy grail: crispy, golden exterior with a tender, creamy interior. The perfect latke. While we're focused on Jewish latkes, it's worth noting, the world loves fried grated potatoes. German Kartoffelpuffer are often larger and thinner than latkes, sometimes made without egg, and traditionally served with applesauce or sugar. Swiss Rösti is essentially a giant latke, shredded potatoes pressed into a cake and fried as one large piece, then cut into wedges. Polish plaki ziemniaczane are virtually identical to latkes. They share the same Eastern European Jewish roots, after all. Korean gamjajeon are similar but often thinner and crispier, sometimes with added vegetables or kimchi mixed in. Irish boxty uses a mix of grated raw potato and mashed cooked potato, giving a different texture. Even within Jewish tradition, there's variation. Some families add a lot of matzo meal. Some use flour. Some Sephardic Jews make different versions entirely. Modern variations include sweet potato latkes, delicious but controversial among purists. Zucchini latkes are popular in summer when standing over hot oil frying heavy potato pancakes seems less appealing. Some people make mixed vegetable latkes, potatoes with parsnips, carrots, or beets. But the traditional potato latke remains the gold standard. There's a reason it's endured. Now we have to address the great latke debate: sour cream or applesauce. Team Sour Cream argues that the cool, tangy creaminess contrasts perfectly with the hot, crispy, savory latke. Team Applesauce says the sweet tart fruit balances the richness and adds brightness. The wise person's answer: both. Alternate bites. Or mix them together. Yes, really. Modern restaurants serve latkes with smoked salmon, creme fraiche, and caviar. Delicious, but maybe not for Tuesday night. Traditional serving is simple, hot from the pan, with sour cream and applesauce on the side. For parties, you can keep finished latkes warm in a 200 degrees Fahrenheit oven on a baking sheet while you fry the rest. Leftovers reheat better in a hot oven for 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 to 10 minutes, then a microwave, which makes them soggy. Final tips from generations of latke making wisdom. Set up your station before you start. Grated mixture, oil, spatula, paper towels, serving plate. Once you start frying, you won't want to stop. Open windows or turn on ventilation. Your house will smell like fried food. Embrace it or plan accordingly. Keep a box of baking soda near the stove. Oil fires happen. Never use water on an oil fire. Wear an apron. Accept that you'll get splattered. It's part of the ritual. Make it social. Latkes are labor-intensive, but in good company, the work becomes the party. The cook gets to eat the first batch immediately. It's tradition. The rest can wait. Latkes aren't complicated. They're potatoes, onion, egg, and hot oil. But they carry centuries of history, cultural significance, and family memory. They commemorate miracles. They connect diaspora communities. They bring families together in kitchens year after year. And they're absolutely delicious, which never hurts. Whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, honoring your heritage, or just craving crispy fried potatoes, latkes are worth mastering. If you enjoyed this deep dive into latke history and technique, subscribe. We're exploring food traditions from around the world with the respect and depth they deserve. Check out related videos on other potato dishes and Jewish food traditions. Now get in that kitchen and make some magic. Crispy, golden, delicious magic. Happy Hanukkah, or just happy eating.